Hello and welcome once again to the Hungry Bleek Podcast. I am Antonio Pomares, the aforementioned Hungry Bleek. There's even a picture in the corner. You can see that's me, Hungry. Yeah, you get it. Folks, we have got a great show for you today. I'm really excited about who's here. Friend of the show, a friend personally, incredible creator, incredible person and father. You obviously can probably tell who it is from what I'm wearing and from that in the corner there, Crescent City Monsters. He's got a great Kickstarter coming up. Actually, it's already on, because I pledged already, so you got to get in there. The link is going to be in the episode description. As always, I'm always trying to help you. I'll give you that link. He's going to give you information as well, folks. And let me make sure that I put a little bit of extra on his name because I just dig it, because I don't get to speak French very often. Not that I remember all that much anyway. Folks, this is Newton Lilavois, and welcome him to the stage.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Thanks for having me on, Antonio.
Dude, man, bro, I'm always excited to have you on because I dig your stuff always. Man, you're one of those creators that when I see you doing something, my eyes automatically like narrow into it, and when I hear about it, my ears automatically perk up because I want to know what's going on. I just want to see what you got going on, and you are, as I've said, one of the, there's a very short list of people. One of the people who, if they were to say, I don't know why they would, but they were to say, hey, who would you want us at Valiant? Who would you want to write Shadow Man? You're one of the first names that I'm going to say. Oh, honestly, it would be one of the dopest series possible to have you on that. Truly.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
But look, today we're here talking about Kisha, Demon Eater.
Yep.
I'm very excited about this. First off, I know a few Black women named Kisha, and they are strong enough to eat demons. So right there, you got me interested. I was like, okay, bet. All right, cool. Can you give us some backstory on this particular story and how you came up with it?
Yeah, so Kisha, Demon Eater is about a Louisiana high school student. Her name is Kisha. She accidentally releases a demon, and that demon possesses her, and that demon actually consumes other demons. So that's why Kisha herself eats demons, right?
Dude.
Yeah. So the demon also attracts the attention of a bounty hunter, a really dangerous bounty hunter, and she's after Kisha. So Kisha's family is concerned about her, and they send Kisha away to an estranged aunt who lives in Kansas, right? So she's moving from New Orleans to Kansas, two different worlds, and with an aunt she barely remembers. And when she gets to the town, she realizes that her aunt and the town isn't what it looks like, and it's a really dangerous place. So now she needs her demon to survive the dangers that she encounters. So that's the short version of what the story is about.
Damn. All right.
And the way the way the story was developed was, originally I was doing some research for another story, and I was doing research on African demons, and then I encountered one that was really interesting. His name was Kisha, and it's I believe it's the Angolanian people, a tribe in Angola that has this one legend of Kisha, and he's this demon who's got like vampire, like he's got a mixture of things. But one of the interesting things about him is that he has a half hyena face and half human face, right? So whenever he goes in and tries to, he seduces women with his like human face, but then impregnates them, but then he switches back to his hyena face, and it's an interesting legend. And so he impregnates them, and then they spawn him demon children, right? And so when I read about that, I was like, whoa, this is really interesting. And so then I asked myself, well, what if he always had sons, but then he had a daughter, right? And what if he hated his daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So he hates his daughter, right? He wants only sons. And so I was like, okay. And then and the reason I wanted to go with a female was because I wanted a character that my daughters could enjoy, right? A story, because they like Crescent City Monsters, but I could tell like it doesn't connect with them as much as when they watch an anime. So I was like, I want to write a story that really connects with them. So I was like, I'll make it a female, and I was like, what if he hates his daughter, right? This demon king hates his daughter, and but his daughter is her thing is she's kind of out there, so she's like but she loves her father, and she's seeking his approval. So her thought is like, well, I'm just gonna eat my brothers until they're all dead, and
Oh.
and that way I'm the only one left, and I'll have my father's attention. So and this is the demon, and the demon's name is Kisha also. So because her father's name is Kisi, and so her name is Kisha, right? So I kind of did a word play on it, because when I read
Right.
about it, I was like, okay, that's if his name is Kishi, it'd be dope if his daughter's name is Kisha, right? So so that's where the name was born from. So then so he's of course he's angry about this, so he entraps her, right? And that's where Kisha, modern day Kisha, comes in. She accidentally, that's the demon she accidentally releases, and so Kisha possesses, human Kisha is possessed by demon Kisha, and so of course Kisha's still has that ravenous appetite to consume other demons. So when Kisha's possessed, she's whenever she fights demons, at the end she's like chomping at them.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
This is the craziest story I've heard, and I'm so ready to read this. Yes. The fact that you were doing research on one story and were able to develop another story from that, and also the fact that you were like, I want something that's going to appeal to my daughters more.
Yeah.
I love that fact, because that's always something that I've always noticed about you and your work, is that in somehow, some way, some form, you always will mention your daughters. And that's one of the things that always keeps me coming back to your work, because I know that it's heartfelt. It's not just a passion for you, but it's your daughters as well. And you bring up anime and just this whole mixture of everything. Yeah. The minute I heard about this, this was like a year ago that I think you started talking about it, maybe?
Yeah, we posted something, I guess, middle of last year, and I was really surprised by the reaction. Like it was the one where she's standing and she's holding half a demon arm and wiping her.
Yes.
So yeah, I posted it, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let me just post it. And people were like, they just went crazy over it, and they were like, oh, when's this book coming out? They didn't really even know anything about the story. It was just the image itself. And I was like, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to put, Crescent City Monsters on hold for a little bit. And we're going to work on Kisha, because I could feel like people were really excited about the character. So I wanted to really dig into it.
Now, this story is linked to Crescent City Monsters?
No, but they exist in the same world.
Oh, they're the same world. I mean, thank you. Yes, thank you.
That's so they're the only characters that you'll recognize are the Grunch.
Oh my God,
and they'll make like a reference to Kingsley, the master Grunch, or the leader of the Grunch. So originally it was going to be a separate story, but then I wanted to kind of combine it, because I realized like there are a lot of Crescent City Monster fans, and I think if I had them in the same world, and just the possibility of just in the future kind of introducing the characters to each other, I think people would get a kick out of it. So so I was like, okay, I'll have them in the same world, but I didn't want too many overlapping characters, because I at the time I'm still writing Crescent City Monsters, the next arc. And I didn't want to be stuck, having to figure out, how things tie in, and, having some loose ends that don't make sense. And it's like, well, in Kisha, this character said this, and, in the new arc. So I was like, all right.
You have that, like that little box at the bottom that with the asterisk saying this was an issue 3 of whatever arc. But honestly appreciate that because yeah, like you're saying, Crescent City Monsters is beautiful. If you have not read this, you must have just been born like a week ago. Honestly, you need to go and get. There's no reason to not. It's one of the most beautiful, um, I should say horrifically beautiful because of the horror and the action, but the story and everything is amazing. Between your writing and Giancarlo Bernal's art is just. I don't know how the two of you linked up. It's like somehow, like the world, like fate was like, look, we need these two have to come together. It's been an incredible partnership of these books. And look, I bought the shirt and the comic isn't even out. I bought the shirt like maybe a couple of months after I saw that first like image. I was like, yo, this is dope. Then I had to go and I was like, oh wait, so there is a t-shirt. Y'all know me in t-shirts. It's like me and pancakes. I'm about to get it. There's no way that I'm turning that down.
Yeah, she's a really interesting character because I think the visuals really caught people's eye, and
Yes.
especially when I was coming up with the character, I was like, okay, so I want to do something that's like I like contrasts, right?
Yes.
That's one of the things I like to do. So I was like, okay, so you're talking about Demon Fighter. What would be like one of the visually like one of the most like opposite thing you would think of is like some us like a Catholic schoolgirl uniform, right? Like somebody, and instead of like some real cool looking outfit that has like weapons here and that has like this so I wanted something that was like kind of like the opposite of what you would think of like a demon hunter or demon eater. And then I was like, okay, but I still wanted her to be, but I wanted it to like transpose her on like scenes that like have this big contrast, right? So like she's in a school uniform, but here she is. She's got a demon hand in one hand, and then she's wiping blood off the other hand. So like that itself, and then the fact that I think she's a young black girl is also like unexpected, because you think a demon eater, right? And the thing too is demon eater. When I thought about it, I was like, okay, so there are a lot of demon slayers, right? There are a lot of demon hunters, but I've never heard of a demon eater. So I was like, let me go with that.
I
Not
don't think
that there aren't, but I haven't heard of a demon eater. So I said, all of that together really just put together is just like really like I said, just has a really strong contrast against each other, and I think it works out perfectly. And you think it's a young black girl too, so it's so when I thought about it, I was like, I think I was like, I think that'll work, and I think that's what resonates with people, that the whole contrast of everything.
Yeah, it definitely did because the image of this young black girl with the afro puffs also, like like there's no like two ways about it. Like she's definitely black, and just the natural hair and everything like that, having that image, and then and Kisha obviously is a very much beloved name. I will say. That stark image of her wiping the blood, and because we don't get to see young black girls be protagonists in horror or action, or pretty much like maybe there's a couple of animes that I can think of where there's a character that's really popular but not like the main protagonist. We're here front and center. This is the first image that you're seeing. She's literally eating a demon. You can't, like, this name is not like something that can be debated. It's right there in front of you.
Right.
Can you tell us about some of the Kickstarter tiers? Because I know that you tried to keep it about the book, which I appreciate it. It's quality over quantity, which I dig.
Yeah. So we were talking about it a little bit before the show. So my main goal for this Kickstarter really was, like you said, I wanted it to be just about the books, and that's because I'm really busy. So like I want to be able to have a fulfillment process that's super streamlined, and the best way to do that is to just offer books, right? Because you only have books, you package the books, and boom, you don't have to wait for like pins, t-shirts, or like prints and order that and get that all together and coordinate it and then package it, a certain way. And it's just easier that way too. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on the books. And another thing too is I wanted to uh, price it in a way that was taking into consideration the financial economy. Not a lot of people have a lot of money to spend, so I was like, okay, let me try to make sure that the tiers are at a level that's reasonable. That's one of the things too why my goal is 8,000. I was gonna make it 10,000, but then the way I structured the pricing, I realized like it would take a lot to get to 10,000.
A lot longer.
Yeah. So I was like, which was fine because my goal really is to be able to fund the production of the rest of the comic books, the rest of the pages, I should say, and print the books, right? And so I want to make sure that I reach as many people as possible. And usually the best way to do that is, to make sure that the price point is just a little bit more in reach of a bigger audience, not make it too much out there. So not to say that the price is like super cheap, but I think it's reasonable. Well, at least I hope so. so so yeah, based on that, like I said, I just really have books. So the tiers is the digital, right? Which is going to be $10, right? And the good thing about the digital version is what I'm going to do is there's going to be bonus content that's in the digital version that's not in the physical book, just because page wise it'll be more expensive to print out these pages, and it's just easier to add bonus content on the digital version. And one of the interesting things is I was pinging Gian just maybe like 3 days ago, and I said, what we should do, we should make sure that we have enough sketches for the digital version so we can add it to the back of the book, because I think people will be really interested to see your sketches and the process. And I could add some notes and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Turns out that I think he has like most of the pages sketched. So it was so many pages. I was like, man, I think I might actually have a separate sketch book by that digitally. So I have to see how many pages Gene has, and I'm thinking like maybe I can just break that out into a second digital book that I'll provide everyone, and then put notes in the sketch thing too. So make it more of a behind the scenes and make it two different. So you have one big PDF that's volume 1, and another one that's just like a total inside look, which I think would work out, and I think people would appreciate it. So like that would add really extra value just to the digital books themselves.
Yeah, that's always a cool thing. I love work in progress stuff. Like some people will show work in progress and they're like, oh, this is just something I did, and I'm like, that's just something you did? I'm like, are you what? So that it's always cool to see the notes of what didn't work, and when they say, oh, well, this would have worked, but it's something with the hair or the helmet, or this color didn't look as well that I thought it would, so we changed the color of this, a different sword, what have you. I always love those notes to see what the creator was thinking from where they started to the finished product. Is always cool to me. And people love that.
That's exactly what I'm going to try to do with this. So, cross your fingers. I really want it to be really dope. So if this works out, then it's possible that people can actually have 2 digital books. So we'll see how that works out. But that's what I'm going to try to do. And I think I think they'll really get a lot of value out of that. So yeah, just going down the list of other tiers. So the volume 1 is starts at $20, and that includes the digital version also. So and that's the standard covers, and then we have 3 other variant covers. We have one called the Demon Hunter cover, right? So that's the cover that shows Kisha fighting the Demon Hunter. I think I see in the background in in the video, right? So that's
Yeah.
that's the cover of the Demon Hunter who's after Kisha. I'm really excited about this the Demon Hunter introducing this as a new character because I think people are really just visually he's just such a cool character. In fact, I'm not sure if you remember this, but Gene was working on an art book, right? We had this idea like, okay, we're gonna do a Crescent City Monsters art book, but we had to put that on hold because we were like, all right, let's do Kisha. And one of the characters he did in the art book for Crescent City Monsters was this guy here. Now, he didn't have a name or anything. He was just going to be, some character in the Crescent City Monster art book. But then, as soon as I saw this guy, I was like, yo, this guy is so dope. I was like, I think he needs to be in Kisha Demon Eater. So I was like,
Okay.
I'm gonna find some way to put him in there. He just had that because a lot of the artwork that Gene was doing was originally supposed to be characters in that Crescent City Monsters world. I mean, they share the same world, but when I saw that, I was like, this character looks like it should be in Kisha Demon Eater. So, and he's a pretty interesting character too, a demon hunter. And I think people are really gonna love him. And visually, he's just so cool. Gene did, as usual, he did an amazing job with that character.
He always does. His art is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's the Demon Eater cover, and then we have another variant cover, which is what I call the slasher cover. So it's a fun cover that I liked, and I think you see a little bit of it below the
yes,
the thing, right? So it's just Kisha going buck wild in a horde of demons. She's like,
that's the best description ever, man. Like there's no way that you could, there's no other way to describe that scene. So yeah,
she's just like, just crushing the demons. So and I thought, Gene did another great job there too. As you can see, he puts a lot of details into the demons and and the emotions of Kisha. The way he captures the emotions on faces is pretty good. I mean, he does a really good job at that. And so, that's just a fun cover. I call it, the slasher cover, just because there's a lot of blood in there. And then another variant cover we have is the color cover.
yes.
So that's the colored version of the standard cover. So one of my favorite colors is colored it. His name is Paris Allen. Or Alan Paris.
Oh, what? All right.
Yes. So he's one of my favorite colors. So he colored that, and luckily he had time because he's usually busy. And so, because sometimes when I reach out to him, I was like, "Yo, can you color this for me?" And he's like, "I'm kind of busy," but I was fortunate enough this time he actually was able to squeeze me in, and he did a really good job. So that color. So I was like, okay, you know what? I think, it'd be dope if that was actually a cover. So one thing I have to say though is just so people don't get confused, they might see a color cover and assume that the inside is color, but everything is still grayscale on the interior. It's just a color cover. So I just want to point that out so people don't get the wrong idea.
But yeah, it's because I don't think I've ever seen his art in color, but the grayscale is always so striking that I enjoy it. It's beautiful, but to see the work in color, and I mean, Paris is, so to see him doing the color for that cover is beautiful. Yeah, because I was real surprised. I was like, wait, why is that in color? Like it's weird to say that. Like, ew, like why is this not in grit? Like, what's going on here? Like, what are y'all doing? So for a second, I was like, it's a whole book. But then I was like, I figured, the book is going to be still in grayscale. But it's beautiful to see the color on the artwork. It does make you just appreciate even more. But it's still breathtaking, even in the grayscale.
Yeah, here's a well, not a secret, but there's some inside information that. So one of my plans was I was gonna have a stretch goal of coloring Kisha, like so so I wanted Paris to do it, but when I reached out to him, he couldn't commit to it, so I was like, damn it. So I was like, okay, I was like, so what I'll do is because I really want Kisha in color, so I think I'll probably do another Kickstarter for doing both Crescent City Monsters and Kisha in color. So
Oh,
I think that'd be an incredible Kickstarter. So
damn.
yeah, so that'd be crazy. And I think people would definitely back and support that. I
Yeah,
just think,
definitely. I mean, now is this going to be a one shot, or is this going to be a continuing series for Kisha?
oh, it's going to definitely be a continuing series.
Mhm.
The first volume, because I'm really I really like to do what do they call it, the slow burn, right? Isn't
Yes.
Kisha's not super slow burn, but it's a lot. To me, it moves a little bit faster than Crescent City Monsters because
Hmm.
to me, Crescent City Monsters is a real slow burn. um, and Keisha is the same way, so it doesn't jump off the bat like she's within the first volume she's eating
Right.
demons. Like it kind
That
of
first page is already
yeah, the
there.
first
Yeah. It's
is
already.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you could do like flashbacks, but the point is that
Hmm.
it's like the first volume is going to be like a setup. It's a lot different than Crescent City Monsters in certain ways.
Hmm.
First, being that uh, the focus is really on Keisha. Like in Crescent City Monsters, I had a lot of subplots. Like,
Yeah.
there were a lot of scenes with Jonas not there, right?
Hmm.
But in here, Keisha is going to be like the main focus, which was different because I was doing a lot of subplots in Crescent City Monsters, juggling like different characters, and what I mean.
Yeah.
But Keisha, there's not a lot of that, which was interesting to write because I was like, wow, I was like, can't believe you know, um, but that goes to show because Keisha amazingly was for me was quicker to write too. It was like I was just like no, 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 just like
Really.
Crescent City Monsters. I have to give it a lot of thought. It's like I have to meditate and think
Damn.
about
All right.
and which is not a bad thing. It's just that Crescent City Monsters is like I always have to give it a lot of thought. Um, but with Keisha, I guess it was easier because there are less subplots. Maybe that's why. But I was able to kind
Oh
of
yeah.
just go through the story um, a lot quicker and a lot easier. In fact, I already started writing volume 2. So it's yeah. I'm a little, you know what? It's crazy because I'm a little nervous
Bring
about
it.
uh doing volume 2 because I still want to wait to see what the reaction is for volume 1. Um, I know people are gonna like volume 1. They're gonna love the story, but in the back of my mind, I'm gonna still compare it to Crescent City Monsters and ask myself like, which one do people like better? It's like, so it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, you know what? They're gonna have that debate in their head, but you know what? Keep giving them material so that debate is always ongoing. Well, this volume was man. This volume was like topped it. Wait, I just read the second. Yeah, just keep going like that. So they keep that debate keeps going in their head. So they got to keep going at it. You know.
That's a good point because I could use motivate each story as motivation to just to up the game of the next story. You know how they say
Yeah.
you're your only competition.
Exactly.
That's the mindset. So yeah,
Dude,
that'll work out.
definitely. So the Kickstarter is live right now. I will have excuse me, I'll have a link in the episode description, like I said, as always. But you can also go check out on Instagram. You can check out Dream Fury Comics, and also there's a Kisha Demon Eater Instagram as well. So you can go and get the information there.
Yep.
And you have the links that are on that be in the bios for those as well, correct?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got the direct link to Kickstarter, so you could just click on those links and support. Yeah, I just wanted to really take some time out to say thank you to everyone. It's crazy because this is my sixth Kickstarter, I think, fifth or sixth, but
Yeah, that sounds about right.
it's like every Kickstarter you still start off and you're like, it feels like like you still have like those doubts, like 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 you're about to throw a party and you're wondering if anybody's gonna come. You know, it's like
Damn, yeah. Oh.
so there's always that, but as usual, my fans showed up big time. It's always I can never really get used to it because it's a really humbling experience when people follow you and they like your work and they come out and support you. And you always think about like how movie stars when they get up on stage and they're like, I couldn't have done it without my fans. I couldn't have done it without you. It's cliche, but it's so true. It's like you're like, wow, I couldn't really have it done without these folks. I mean, of course you put in a lot of work. I could go Snoop Dogg and like to thank myself, me,
Me. It's about me.
I'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
This time I'll thank my fans and followers because they always come through, and even fellow indie creators really supporting me. So that's always a really humbling feeling, so you would think like, I guess you could take it certain ways. Some people might let it get to their heads, and think like, oh yeah, I'm top notch, so people are gonna show up, but I look at it like more like a humbling experience. Like, wow, I'm really fortunate that people like the stuff that I'm doing, and it's enough to actually bring enough funds to reach goal and then keep producing the books because like every indie comic book creator can attest to, it's really difficult and expensive to actually be an indie creator. So the more support that we have, the better. And the fact that I'm able to raise this much money is incredible to me, because I just started this 5 years ago. And not knowing where it was going to go, not knowing if people are going to even like the story. I didn't even really finish, like I didn't complete the story. It was just like, oh, I had an idea and I was like, and I knew I had to start, because if I didn't start, if I waited to finish the story, I would never start because because that's the way I am. So other people are different. Once they start, they'll finish, and then they'll need to do what they do. But I knew that if I waited to complete the story, that it would never get done. So I was like, and I'm really really impatient. So I try to, like, if I really want to do something, I believe like, okay, I should try to do it, instead of talk about it. There's only so many years that you could talk about doing something before you're like, all right, you just got to do it
Before you actually jump ahead and do it. And
yeah.
look, you consistently give us quality horror action with incredible characters and the phenomenal art. And we're going to show up because you show up. You show up giving us this incredible work. There's no, I mean, at a certain point, the like black comic book fans and everything like that, it was like, hey, we can keep buying the same stuff, or we can go and check out these indie creators who are our people.
Mm-hmm.
A cat that we might see when we're in McDonald's. I mean, but legit, like you'll see him in McDonald's, like he getting his nuggets, or at Wendy's and that 4 for $4. A cat that
Maybe
you'll
the
see. Look, but to be able to get the work, and it's always great and amazing and consistent and solid. For some reason these days, consistency or I should say the word solid, for some reason people look at it as, oh, it's solid. It's like, that's not a compliment. The hell, that's a huge accomplishment, because a lot of people are not solid. They're shaky, they're strong, then they're teeter-tot, they're all over the place. You're consistent and you're solid. Your consistency and your solidness is, again, one of the reasons why you are a cornerstone there. And and I'm going to speak for everybody who is a fan of yours and whatever. We appreciate the work, the time, the consistency, the thought process, everything that you put into your books, we appreciate.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. And it really it's another humbling thing when, people like your work. It's really amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because as every creator expects, they really want people to like their work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the things that they create, they expect people to like it on certain levels. But the feedback that I get is really mind blowing. Like, people really love the story. Like, it's like there was a point where it's like, um the feedback I was getting was like people just like love the story so much. After a while, I was kind of getting a little suspicious. I was like, I was like, you know,
Damn. All
I was
right.
like, because there's, no matter what story you're talking about, like it could be a movie or a book, there'll be like a ton of people who like it, but then there'll be people who just don't like it.
Right.
They'll be like on the opposite end and they hate it. And I was like, man, I was like, what? I was like, where's the haters? I was like, there's got to be a few out there. So that was getting a little paranoid. But then I actually met a few haters. So then I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what becomes reality when you're like, all right, somebody doesn't like me. All right, cool. All right.
Yeah. I was like, believe it or not, that actually made me feel better. I was like, okay, they didn't really like the book. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like,
Yeah.
finally, I was
Well,
like somebody who,
you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So
yeah,
when everything is going good, you're like,
yeah,
gotta be
yeah,
something around the corner. Somebody is going
yeah,
like, hit me or something. Like something's got to happen. But no,
yeah.
man, I mean, yeah, you are, but dude, like I said, you're always on point. I actually had this conversation with somebody. Your consistency and you're solid. Like another one of my favorite writers, Cullen Bunn. There are books of his that he's solid. I'm like, yeah, I can always, if there's something, I'm like, you know what, let me go see what he's doing. That's the same feeling that I get from you. It's a consistency, it's a solidness, and it's when I go in and I read it and I'm like, yeah, but like it could be a book. You could say, hey, I got something coming out about a zoo or whatever. Okay, cool, whatever.
How'd
All
you
right,
know?
bet.
How'd you know I was going to work on? No, I'm just kidding.
I can't give up all my sources. I'm saying I'm a little psychic sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like you could say that, and I'm like, okay, cool, bet, because I know you, I know your work. I'm not going to doubt you. Well, because the subject is something that I don't really know about, or that I'm like, I don't know. I know the writer's going to be on point regardless, and that's what we honestly
Thanks.
appreciate and love about you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's funny you say that because I've actually scrapped some projects because I was like, man, this is not really like up to par with what I usually do. It's been hard because you work on a project, you spend some money, and you start creating the pages, and then you feel like, oh man, this is really not this
It's
is
not.
not really like up to par. Like, so I've actually had to stop a couple of projects like that. So um that's the one thing I think that helps me out. Like, I have the ability to kind of like step back out of myself and ask myself, like, is this really good? It's hard
Ooh.
because you have internal biases, but I think I have the ability to kind of step outside of myself and give a real self analytical look at what I'm doing, and
Mm-hmm.
see if it's actually working. And I don't mean like being self-critical, like, oh, this is no good, this is horrible, da, da, da. I mean really just kind of analyzing what I did and see if it's really working, and if it's up to par with what I've done before. And if I don't feel like that, if I start getting that feeling like, yeah, this is not it, I'll just like scrap it, because I rather just like you said, be consistent. I don't want people to read it and be like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. It's like,
He was good. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what happened with this.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know, but it's good to be able to have that perspective where you can say this isn't it and course correct. And you never know, man. You might, a year, 2 years down the line, you can go back to it and go, wait, this is what was missing. This is what I can change.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to still even have that there and go, let me take a look at that. Let me see what that was that I didn't like or whatever, and course correct and change it. And that could be another consistent hit from you, man.
Yeah. There's that's absolutely right. I mean, one of the stories that I'm definitely going back and redoing, because I was looking at it, I was like, man, what the hell did I do? I was like, I rushed this. I was like, this is no good, no bueno. I was like, I need to stop this.
Oh, it happens, man. But when you know, when it's good and when it's bad, you definitely know. You like, yeah, I'm not putting that. I'm not putting. I'm gonna put this file over here, compress it, and we'll put it like on like
in the archives.
Exactly. Maybe I'll come back to it in a year or so. We'll have you see what happens. And that's the beauty of it, man. Well, brother, I don't want to take up any more of your day. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. You got a world, a whole universe to create.
Yeah, not enough time, man.
Dude, there's not enough time, but all the time that we have, we're going to take and read whatever you're putting out. Folks, once again, Lilavois, look, Kisha, Demon Eater, the Kickstarter is live. Go check it out. The tiers, everything, and definitely read the whole like description there, because when I started reading it, I was like, it got me hyped for it, and I had to go back to work because I was on break. So I had to stop reading, because I was like, the minute I got to the part about Kisha, I was like, wait, what, there's a demon eating? And I was like, wait, hold on, all right, because I would have still been sitting there and I'd have been fired. Then I wouldn't have been able to afford the book. And we can't have that. We need y'all to be employed for your bills and stuff, but also to get these phenomenal books. All right, so Newton, do you have any final words for the folks?
Yeah, well, first I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. Every time I'm on the show, I always have a good discussion. So I still can't believe you let me talk about what's that, One Night in Miami.
Dude, that movie was phenomenal. That movie was, and it's been a couple years, so I might have to go back and like revisit that movie. Truthfully, man, look, it's what you want to talk about. So I said, look, whatever you want to talk about, we will talk about, and that's what you chose, and you got me to watch a great movie, so I can't be mad at you.
So I thought that was cool. So I don't think anybody else would have done that. So
probably not. No.
So thank you for having me on the show again, and I want to thank all the backers of Kisha, Demon Eater, and if you haven't backed it yet, you can go to Dream Fury Comics on any social network, Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook, and there'll be a link to the Kickstarter there, so you can check it out that way. Or if if you want, you can go to Kisha.rocks and it'll redirect you to the
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that too.
Damn, yeah, that is nice.
So it's not KishaRocks.com, it's Kisha.rocks. So if you go there, so it's not a .com URL, it's rocks. Yeah. So yeah. So I thought it was cool. I was like, yeah, I can pick up a Kisha domain. So yeah, so I was like, Kisha Rocks. I was like, that's dope. So yeah, just type in Kisha.rocks and it'll redirect you to the Kickstarter if you want to do that.
Awesome. Folks, this is Newton Lilavois. Thank you so very much. Always an honor.
All right. Thanks, man. Peace.
Thank you, brother. So folks, let me talk to you for a second. Can I talk to you for a second? Can I talk to you real quick? Look, I don't know what's going on, but we've got to start enjoying things. I see a lot of people out there just talking about the stuff in geekdom and not in a positive way. I'm seeing it more and more, and I think I talked about this last time. Find stuff that you like, find stuff that you dig, find stuff that you love. Talk about that. Hype it up. Okay? We need more of that. Don't hate watch stuff because there's no point to it. I want you to enjoy what it is that you've got going on. You know what I mean? Whether it's on your tablet, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your TV, whether it's on your laptop, whatever it is, I want you to enjoy that stuff, please. I want you to just feel like, damn, I want you to feel like you just had a good meal. That's how I want to feel. Sometimes we're giving too much of our energy to things that we don't like, to be negative, just to hate watch something, just to hate read, just to hate listen. That energy could be going to actually promoting work that you're digging, that you're loving. And then when that work ends up being maybe canceled or not funded in a Kickstarter or whatever, it doesn't come to fruition or it doesn't continue, then you sit there with the sour face talking about, oh, I don't know why this got canceled. It was good. Because you weren't really talking about it. And we need to. We need to support the creators that are out there doing the work, and we need to support these projects. We really do. Because they are awesome. They're amazing. And they need our help and our support. Not just financially, but also like sharing it. Show a picture of it. Just wear the t-shirt. I'm a huge candidate for wearing the t-shirt, you know? But that's what we need to start doing. Because if you're just in it just to be negative and sour about every single thing out there, are you really doing anyone a service? You're doing more of a disservice to the projects that are out there that we need to show love to, that we need to show respect to, that we need to really support the projects and the creators. So flip the script a little bit. Show what you're like. Show what you're watching. Show what you dig. Show what is making you go, damn, I read this book. It was really cool. Damn, this is really great. What have you. Whether it's from one of the bigger companies or whether it's from those indie artists that are out there grinding, that have, what's the term I heard the other day? Getting it from the mud or getting it out of the mud. Probably said that all wrong, honestly. I said it and my back hurt. I'm 44. Can't be saying these new terms. Whatever. What's another one? It slaps. Oh, jeez. That doesn't even sound right coming out of me. Jesus. But you get the point. If you don't like something, hey, I didn't dig this for X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. What have you? What did you like? What movie did you like? What TV show did you like? What comic did you like? What novel did you like? That's where we really show the love. But that's just my bleak perspective. Damn, that water tastes good when it's coming out of a mug. From Blurred Domination, a company created by a Black woman who happened to hire me to help contribute to it. That's what it is, folks. All right, so on that note, I want you to all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. It's Friday. Make sure you take care of yourselves, okay? Please. Enjoy the weekend if you can. If you can't, yada, 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 yakety, schmackety, whatever. Get your money. Do whatever you can. And be safe out there, all right? I'm going to talk to y'all later. I want you to enjoy. Say, do the best you can with what you got, because in the end, that's all that you should get. And eat something tasty, all right? Talk to you later. Peace. Shoulder shake, anyone? Yes, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.